Hello my dear friends. Today we will discuss about G-test. A G-test is a statistical test to determine whether two population means are different when the variances are known and sample size is large. Then it can be used to test hypothesis in which the G-test follows a normal distribution. Then a G statistic or G score is a number representing the result from a G test. Then G tests are closely related to T test, but T tests are best performed when an experiment has a small sample size, usually 30 or less. Also, T tests assume the standard deviation is unknown for the population, while G tests assume it is known. So these are here you will find when we are performing G test, and as well as you can find out what are the differences between G test and T test. Now we will see this. How exactly G test works. So suppose example of tests that can be conducted as G test include a sample location test, a two sample location test, a pair difference test, and a maximum likelihood estimation test. So these are the various type of tests we are performing under G test. We will just see that one sample test and two sample tests of G test. So G tests are closely related to T tests, but T tests are performed when sample size is small. T tests assume that standard deviation is unknown, while G tests assume that it is known. Then if standard deviation of population is unknown, then we are following this an assumption that sample variance equal the population variance. So when standard deviation of population is unknown, then an assumption is made that sample variance equals the population variance. That assumption is taken in that case. Now we will do some hypothesis testing in this case. So for that hypothesis testing, whenever we are saying G test is also hypothesis test in which G statistic follows a normal distribution. The G test is best used for greater than 30 samples. That's according to central limit theorem. As the number of samples gets larger, the samples are considered to be approximately normally distributed. This is the reason we are performing here. When conducting a G test, the null and alternative hypothesis alpha and G scores should be stated. So it means to say that what is null hypothesis, what is alternative hypothesis, what is confidence level, and what is G score. It means when we are conducting a G test, we must have to state null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, confidence interval, and G score. So then we go for calculation of, after stating these all things, we go for calculation of G test, and then we analyze and conclude that. So here we will see what's exactly happening. Here this is the formula exactly given for G test. So this is the formula. You can see here G is equal to x bar minus mu divided by sigma divided by under root n, where x bar is sample mean, mu is population mean, sigma is population standard deviation, means population standard deviation is known to us, and then sample size is given. We will see using this with some example. So this if we are taking in one sample G test, for the mean of normal distribution with known variance. This is two-sided test. So to test the hypothesis, you have to write that H0 means mu is equivalent or equal to mu 0. Okay, means when the population mean is equivalent to sample mean, while alternative hypothesis is there is no difference between these two means with a significance level of alpha, whatever is, we will take that. So here underlying the standard deviation, if we see sigma is known, so G is, if G is less than G alpha by 2 or G is more than G 1 minus alpha by 2, if that type of value we are getting, then H0 is rejected or null hypothesis is rejected. If we are getting that G alpha by 2 is less than or equivalent to G, or that's less than G 1 minus alpha by 2, then null hypothesis is accepted. So here this is mu is equal to mu 0, means two population means are equivalent. Then that's null hypothesis is means two population means are equivalent or equal, and alternative hypothesis is they are unequal with a significance level of alpha 1. That's given, whatever we are trying to find. Now we will see, we will use this. Suppose we have example, with example if we see, suppose cholesterol levels in men ages from 41 to 60 in India among IT officials we are testing, and they are assumed to be normally distributed with mean value of 190 mg per dm. So the cholesterol level among them is higher or lower than general population is unknown. Then we have to find out whether this is same way among all of them or the whole population, or everyone is even whatever we have taken from that, or they are different. So for that we assume that levels, cholesterol levels among IT official are normally distributed with unknown mean mu. So here for null hypothesis, mu is equal to mu 0 is equal to 190, means both are same. Alternative hypothesis if we take, both are not same. So blood test we have performed on 200 men, so that's the sample size, and mean level is 181.52 mg per dm with a standard deviation 40 mg per dm. This score we have to find out. So first of all you just recall this formula. This is sample mean minus population mean. So in this case if you see, sample mean is 181.52 minus population mean is 190, because here population mean it is given here. Suppose that all are normally distributed with mean 190 mg per dm, but when we have performed on 200 men we have found 181.52, that's the sample of 200 men we have taken, and we have found 181.52, and this is standard deviation is given 40 mg per dm. So same way if we are using this, so standard deviation that's 40 is given and is 200, because this formula you just see here sigma is given and root under n. So that is applied exactly here. So from that you will find minus 8.45 divided by this value, if you calculate you will find 564.685. So overall we are getting minus 0.0149. So here minus we are giving 0.0149. So 0.0149 is less than 1.96. That's the critical value at 95% confidence level interval. So if that's less than 1.96 means it is coming under acceptance zone of null hypothesis. We will see here. This is given at 95% confidence interval. This is varying from minus 1.96 to plus 1.96. So this range, whatever value we have got, that's coming 0.0149. So 0.0149 will come somewhere here. So if it is coming here, it means this is the acceptance zone of null hypothesis. So alternative hypothesis we have to reject. Means there is no difference between two means. So that we have to accept. Now if you see from where we have got this 1.96. So you can just recall this G table. G table you just see 1.96. So here at when we are taking, for this is alpha by 2 if we are taking. So here you see 47.56 is coming at 0.06 from here. So 47.5 into 2, because we are taking two-sided, so alpha by 2 is there, that's 47.5. So we have to take the alpha, that will be 2 into alpha by 2. So 95% confidence interval we are taking. So at that it's 1.9, and after point you see 0.06. So 6 is coming, so it is 1.96. 1.9 is given. After that 0.06, 1.9 plus 0.06. So that's coming 1.96. This is the region we are taking here. Critical value as 1.96. So that's as alpha by 2 is there, so both sided we will take. So when we are taking left hand side of us, that's the negative value. When we are taking right hand side of us, that's the positive value. So this is the region this is taken. So here if that range is coming like 0.0146, this is coming here, this side, left side, minus, it is minus, so it is coming here. That's always less than this value. This is the region this is lying in the zone of null hypothesis. Or we have to accept null hypothesis and we have to reject alternative hypothesis. So that's in case of one sample test we have seen. Now we will see two independent samples if they are given. So in that case the formula is by x bar 1 minus x bar 2 the whole under bracket minus mu 1 minus mu 2. All are divided by under root sigma 1 squared by n1 plus sigma 2 square by n2. So now here we can replace mu 1 minus mu 2 as d. D means difference between two population. So that's replaced. So here you can just see that x bar 1 minus x bar 2 minus d divided by root under sigma 1 square by n1 plus sigma 2 square by n2. Suppose if the mean difference between population is 0. Suppose that is 0. In that case, here in place of d it will come 0. So g will become x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by sigma 1 square by n plus sigma 2 square by n2 and whole root under. So this way formula is derived. Now we will see with example how this is used. So suppose we are talking about the amount of manganese in blood is known to vary with standard deviation of 1.12 microgram per liter for male blood donors and 1.9 microgram per liter for female blood donors. So random samples of 75 male and 50 female donors we have got the concentration means that's 9.2 microgram per liter is given in male and 10.6 microgram per liter in female respectively we have found. So now the question is, what is the likelihood that the population means of concentration of manganese are the same for men and women? So manganese, you might be knowing that this is one of the trace elements present in blood. If concentration is increased due to any reason, either due to pollution or more manganese supply in water or due to various intakes, maybe it may be increased. So that may cause various nervous problem. You might be knowing these things. So that may result in terms of tremors and all problems of related with excitement and all those things are coming. So this will ultimately result in various different nervous problems. So here the main matter is related with this problem solution. So null hypothesis, what we find from this or we derive from this, that is H0 is equal to mu1 minus mu2 is equal to 0, means there is no difference. Okay. Alternative hypothesis, mu1 is not equal to mu2 or mu1 minus mu2 is not equal to 0. So anything may be alternative hypothesis, what is not related with null hypothesis. Based on that, if we use this in our formula, so while using this in our formula, we have now this x1 bar is given and x2 bar is given, because mean you just see here in problem mean of this random sample of 75 male and 50 female donor yield concentration mean of 9.2 and 10.6. 9.2 is given for male, that's the mu1, and 10.6 microgram per liter is given for female, that's the mu2. So now we will use this here. So mu1 minus mu2, 9.2 minus 10.6 minus 0. So that ultimately will come, that's negligible or that can be negated even. Divided by, it was sigma 1 square by n1 root under plus sigma 2 square by n2 root under. So here sigma 1 and sigma 2 is given. Sigma 1, if you see, that is 1.12, standard deviation of 1.12 microgram per liter for male donor was there, and 1.9 microgram per liter was for female donor. So in this case, if we see, we have applied that in formula. So when we have applied that in formula, so you just calculate, you will find that this is coming as minus 2.09. So minus 2.09, that's the G score is there. So now if you apply this, or we will go in minus 2.09. So 2.09 if we want to see. Where it is coming? If we are seeing here, you see 2. In this 2 line, if you see, here if you go, 09 is in last. So it's coming at 48.17. 48.17 means 96.34. So 96.34 if we see, you just will come back to this our normal distribution. In normal distribution, what we have seen in that, this is 95% is this zone. That is minus 1.962 plus 1.96. But we have what we are getting 96.34. That's out of this zone. We are getting here in this zone. Is this zone if we are getting, means this is out of acceptance of null hypothesis zone. This was the acceptance of null hypothesis zone, that's in between minus 1.96 to plus 1.96. But it is coming out of this zone. It means this is for rejection of null hypothesis zone or acceptance of alternative hypothesis zone. I think you would have understood this. So here in this case we will just reject null hypothesis. So that's about your G test if we are performing for one sample or if we are performing for two independent samples. So that's there. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please like and share this video. Subscribe this channel. We will cover the whole syllabus of BMS and MD for research methodology and biostatistics. Thanks again.